Okay, so welcome to the Vibe Coding Jam session. What we do here is we talk about what we're working on using various AI first development tools, vibe coding tools. We talk about what we're building, what we'd like to build. We show and tell. We do showing. We go around the room and let people show what they're working on. They can ask questions at any time. We can work together to build something. We can work together to explore different ideas. The whole point of these sessions are to be open and collaborative and educational and hopefully help you get started with vibe coding, being able to build essentially anything that you want just by having a conversation with an AI. Pretty cool. Hey, welcome, Alan. We just got started, so you didn't miss anything yet. So, my name's Derek. I'm going to talk for a minute here and then showcase a couple things that I worked on this week. It wasn't anything exciting, but I just want to talk about them just to build a little bit of familiarity with some of the tools that I used. So, what we're looking at here on my screen is Shakespeare. I believe that Shakespeare is the best application out there for building on Nostr. If you want to build a Nostr app, you have an application, a Nostr website, an idea that you want to build, you want to build a website and have some type of Nostr integration, Shakespeare is the best tool that you can use because Shakespeare has been built to understand all the ins and all the outs of how Nostr works. There are plenty of other tools out there. I've used many of them, but Shakespeare knows more about Nostr than all of them combined, probably. It knows all the ins and the outs. And the best thing about it is that people like Daniel that's in the room and other developers have built little bits of code snippets and added it to Shakespeare to make Shakespeare better, to understand how Nostr works and how like Bitcoin payments works and things like that. So this is Shakespeare Act 2. We talked about this a lot last week. It just launched. So it's really, really new, but it's really, really powerful for not only beginners, but also intermediate users and advanced users too. So to get started, you can click on New Project, and then you just have a conversation with AI and tell it what you want to build, and it'll build it for you. But there's also some other cool things that Shakespeare can do. Like if you have no idea what you want to build, you can actually go to the, soapbox.pub, and I should have had this already brought up, but you can look at these templates. You can say, I have no idea what I want to build, but I want to build something. So you can look at our website and browse all of these templates. Heather will put this link in the chat because she's amazing. And you can scroll down and look at all of these different templates, find something that you like, get some inspiration, and then you just click Edit with Shakespeare, and it'll import it automatically to Shakespeare. Or you can look at other apps that other people have built, like my Zappix app, Daniel's Blobby app, all sorts of other apps here you can browse that other people have built with Shakespeare, and you can edit them directly in Shakespeare. You can even edit Shakespeare with Shakespeare. But anyways, this is just a way to kind of let you know what Shakespeare can do, because a lot of time whenever you go to build, you don't know what to build. You have a question, you don't know how to talk to AI, you don't know really what you want. So feel free to browse these to see what's available, to get some inspiration, to get some ideas. So Shakespeare, as I said earlier, is for complete beginners, where you could just type in here, build me a website like this example, create a farming equipment marketplace for local farmers to buy and sell tractor tools and supplies. So you could do that, and it would try to build that on Nostr. We have different AI models available for you to choose from. This is different from a lot of other providers out there, a lot of other platforms. So you can use our Shakespeare AI, which is paid, where we get money. You can use the free version. Now, I will say this free version, as you see here, this is the free model. The Tybalt model is the free model. It's great for learning what Shakespeare is. It's great for learning how to talk to an AI. It's great for testing. It is not great for building a production application. If you build a basic website with the free version, it may work okay. But if you want to build something that has a little more fluff to it, something that's a little more production-like and something you can be proud of, you're probably going to want to switch to a paid model. The free version isn't for that. You'll get bad results. So you can pay us and use the Shakespeare model. You can pay in cash or Bitcoin, or you can use any of the other models available. Like if you're a more intermediate user and you've heard of OpenRouter, or you've heard of any other of these providers down here. Hold one second. We'll scroll the whole way down to the bottom here and hit Manage Provider. So if you have Routester or PaperQ or OpenAI or Anthropic, DeepSeek, all these, you can add your key. So this is more of an advanced intermediate user to use keys from other AI providers. I want to show you something here. It's a little more advanced, but I have my GitHub linked here. So I can do really cool things since I have my GitHub. I can push my code directly to GitHub if I want to. So I made a change earlier to my Syncster application. If I click on these three dots here, and I go down to repository, I can see that I'm one commit ahead of my GitHub, meaning that I made one change here locally that doesn't exist on my GitHub. So I can hit push, and it'll push that out to GitHub. So now that's out to GitHub. And now GitHub knows that I have an update out there. So we can talk more about that later if you have questions about how that actually works. You can also, if you don't have a GitHub, that's fine. You can actually push. This is another example here. So if you didn't have a Git URL, this right here would say push to Nostr. And you could then push to Nostr Git. You don't have to use GitHub. You can use decentralized GitHub, basically, Nostr's version of GitHub. So real quick, what did I build this week that I want to show you? Just show you what I did, and then we can go around the room and you guys can ask all sorts of questions. Can it work with a locally running LLM like Ollama? 100% yes, it absolutely can. So let me show you how you do that. You go to your settings, and you go to AI settings, and you go to custom provider, and you can say Ollama and HTTP, whatever it is, say it's maybe or have it running on localhost, and what's the Ollama port? 1134, I think, something like that. So you add that, and then you change the authentication. I think Ollama has no API key. So yeah, since this runs locally and all the API keys, all the configuration is saved locally on your browser, you can connect and add your own local Ollama instance. So I added two features this week to some of my applications. So this is Podster. This is what Heather and I use our podcast for. I had requests from people in the podcast community to add videos to episodes. So I added the ability to have video episodes. You can now upload a video and have a video episode with your podcast. I also had people from the podcast community ask to have transcripts and chapter files for podcasts. So now you can upload them or link them if they exist elsewhere. So I added those three features. Real simple, but I used AI to do that. So that's a production application that I updated. Um, Zaptracks. Zaptracks actually has received a major update this week. So Zaptracks originally it was my Wavelake application. It only played music from Wavelake. But I learned recently that Wavelake doesn't have the entire Podcasting 2.0 RSS music catalog. Another data source existed. So I told the AI to use this other data source, and now I have it. Podcasting 2.0 music, which is RSS music, and then I have Wavelake music. It's kind of ugly because there's two different, it's confusing. I need to figure out how to make this pretty and merge the two together. But you can search music like James Costello. This song is not available on his songs are not available on Wavelake, but they're available through Podcasting 2.0. Where are the data stored when creating a website? Did you pay hosting or do we need to buy ours? So for my example here, I'm hosting this myself, but we'll backtrack here. So whenever you were to deploy, let's see, I can do this one. So let's say I built this application with Shakespeare. The data for this all lives on, like the back end, like server data lives on Nostr relays. So think of Nostr as your database, essentially, where all the information is stored. Now the website files, like the website, like HTML files, the images, things like that, those do need to be hosted somewhere. And you can actually host them for free through Shakespeare. Whenever you go to deploy, you click on the menu button up here and you hit deploy. It's going to first come, first serve. I would be the person that gets Reviewster. If I don't like that name, I can type in there and change it. But you hit deploy and it deploys my code, and it's already automatically live at reviewster.shakespeare.wtf. Now you may say, hey, I don't want it to be shakespeare.wtf. I don't want that. And that's perfectly fine. You can get around this multiple ways. You can buy hosting from somewhere. You can use Vercel for free. You can use GitHub Pages for free. You can use Netlify for free and things like that. And we have some of this information in our tutorial section that talks about hosting it on other providers. But you can definitely host it for free. So what I call this is, I don't call it it is production hosting, but it's more along the lines of more proof of concept hosting, right? You put your app out there, you work on it, you show it to a few people, they start to use it and like it, and you say, okay, this might be worth me actually figuring out how to host it somewhere, and then you host it on yourdomainname.com. That's what I like to tell people. You can host here forever, but it's not a production professional URL, right? You don't want that. But you could if you wanted to. You absolutely could. Hope that answered your question. Thank you, MK, for dropping that in the chat. So back to my podcast app. So what did I do then? My music app that I added Podcasting 2.0 music. I added the ability for Podcast 2.0 music, and they mix the two, so it'll search the whole entire catalog, and obviously it will play it if you want to play it. And liking it automatically adds it to your liked playlist. When you do a comment, it shares a comment to Nostr. You can do zaps. It'll zap. All the whole 9 yards. And like I said, my playlist here is composed of Wavelake music, and these last two down here are Podcast 2.0 music, but it's all in the same playlist. So it all works, it's all functional, but I don't like how it's separate. So I need to kind of figure out, I don't know. I don't like having two different sections on the homepage. So I gotta figure out UI-wise how to merge the two together, but it's all functional and it all works. So that's That's what Derek built uh, this past week. Podster enhancements and Zapster enhancements. I also did a Syncster enhancement, which I just published for you guys a little bit ago, showing how you do this. Actually, May, kind of your to answer your question earlier. So I'm gonna deploy this here. So it's deployed to syncster.shakespeare.wtf. So this is hosted on the Shakespeare domain, but I also am using GitHub with this. So whenever I push it to GitHub, it pushes my code to GitHub. And then I have GitHub configured. I'm getting kind of deep in the weeds here, but I have GitHub configured to push my code to Vercel and host this for free. So this is just another method that you can do to host. So I'm hosting this for free at Vercel. And now if I wanted to easily, the whole reason I'm doing this is because I'm planning on making a video, is I can go buy a domain name and I can log into Vercel and I can change this to be whatever domain name, Syncster.app or something like that. I don't have to have it say Vercel, but you can use another provider for free to do this, and all I have to do is own the domain name. So you can do all this. You don't have to use our provided hosting if you don't want to. Any other questions? Anything about Shakespeare I can demo or talk about or deep dive more into? Otherwise, we'll give other people a chance to show and tell what they were working on. Or if you have any other questions while someone is demoing their stuff, feel free to type it in the chat and I can get back to you once they're done as well. I'll say just visit shakespeare.diy and play with it. Learn how to use it and come with questions next week if you have, or feel free to send me a DM. My DMs are always open. Shakespeare can create mobile apps too. So Shakespeare will only create web applications, websites, but it will create mobile-friendly websites and PWAs, progressive web apps. So, for example, like I used Shakespeare technologies to build this, and it looks great on a phone. I use this on my phone installed as a PWA, as a progressive web app. And when I was walking around my neighborhood earlier, I was listening to music from the PWA app on my phone. So it will 100% look good and function and look like a native app, but it won't be a native app. Works like an app, yeah. It's just tech nerds will tell you, no, it's not an app. But you won't be able to find it in like Google Play or the Apple App Store. But for all intents and purposes, it functions basically like an app. Okay. Daniel, sir, welcome to the jam session. I know it's your first time here, but you're a legend with all the cool things you're building. Do you have anything that you'd like to showcase?
Hi guys.
I'm putting
Like
you on the spot.
right now, I don't have like something really new because now I'm working on Moonfile. That is a um, game platform built on Nostr. So
What's the URL for that? I don't remember.
the URL is not like deployed.
Oh, it's not? Okay. Oh, well, do you want to share your screen and show people, or no? Or aren't you ready for that yet?
I can like right now I'm in the middle of like switch the emulator of it because like before you was just able to play like NES games like
Yeah.
Nintendo games, but now I'm implementing a new emulator. But I can show my screen to you.
Yeah, show everybody what you're working on. And you're building this in like mostly or 100% in Shakespeare?
Yeah, I'm building it in Shakespeare, like
Awesome. Very cool.
nine. 98%.
Very,
Let
very
me
cool.
let me share my screen. 1 second. Entire screen. Uh, can you see my screen?
No. Yes.
1 second. Uh, okay. So this is Moonfile. It is a decentralized game platform building on Nostr. It allows like anyone to play, share, and publish games directly through the network with no central servers or like App Store. The players can publish their own games by posting Nostr events that contain the game data, like those retro games like .NES, SNES, or Game Boy games, and using base 664, or by linking to hosted games using like A-frame or HTML5, etc. These games become like instantly discovered and playable by others in that platform. Like right now, I just published those events because they are really small. Like uh, Super Mario Bros. The first one, Kirby Adventure. I published them on Dito Relay and Primal, and you can see them here. Now I can't show you like play the screen playing because I'm having some issues because I'm changing the emulator. But uh, here you will be able to play them. And in this next week, after I finish this implementation and switching this simulator, we will be able to play together too. Like I'm implementing multiplayer too.
Multiplayer through Noster relays. That's sick. I think it would be very, very cool then to be able to like award badges, have like an achievement system using Noster badges. I'm a big Noster badge advocate, so
Yeah.
that is super cool, Daniel.
Yeah, and like in the future about those retro games, like when someone just publish them, I need to set up it uh, like the way that it will be done, but you'll be able to like mapping those scores and those things to publish it like I haven't too. Like after you finish your game section, you'll be able to post on a relay like, oh, I play it with Derek and I won, and those stuffs
Oh,
too.
that's really cool. I like even like join messages would be fun too. Like if it's a multiplayer game to be able to, post a message to Noster saying, "Hey, I'm playing this game, click here to join me." That would be super
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. So that's
Oh,
it
yeah, very
for me.
cool. No, very cool. This is awesome. I'm excited to see it, you know, get finished and roll out. I think that'll be a hit.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited about it too. I'm a little out of uh the deadline because this last 4 days by 5 days I've been really sick, but now I'm better and I come back to work on it.
Excellent. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. We need you around.
Yeah, now really good.
Good. Okay. Any questions for Daniel about what he's doing, how he's doing it, how he's feeling?
I wanted to ask Daniel about the prompt he made when all these games were being pulled into the website. I'm fairly new to this. I'm trying to understand how to prompt it and what really happened in the background when it comes to the prompt.
Sorry, I just understand like one part of it. You want to know how those games are like pulled to the platform?
He wanted, yeah, he wanted to know your prompt, basically, how you imported the library, or how you what type of prompt you used to be able to use the games, basically.
To use the games inside the platform?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you didn't actually upload them through your app. You published them command line or something, right?
Yeah, I published them. Yeah, by command line using NAC. They are those games that I show to you were like entire event kind 31996 if I'm not wrong. The entire .NES game is encoded encoded into base 64 and published into the content of the event.
So basically, what he did is he took a data file, which is the the ROM, the NES ROM, and he encoded it base 64 so it could fit inside a JSON
Yeah,
message and be essentially housed inside this JSON event.
exactly.
All right, thanks.
Like you can,
Well,
I mean, it's people have different thoughts on this around Noster. Some people don't like it. Some people do. Some relays, if this becomes popular, will reject that event kind because they don't want to store data. Even though these ROMs are only like 50K, so in my opinion, they probably wouldn't care because it's so small. But there was a conversation on Noster, oh geez, probably 2 years ago now, where people were talking about encoding um, images as base 64 encoded images is JSON data, and a lot of people didn't want that. But images are much larger, so I think you're going to be safe.
yeah, at least for this moment, I think.
Yeah. And if not, you find a relay that wants to host your data, or you host your data yourself. That's the cool thing about Noster. If all the relays out there, for example, decide they don't want to host your custom type of data that you're using, well, you say, okay, I'm going to run my own relay and host my own data, and you do that.
Yeah, this is really cool on Nasser, about Nasser.
Oh man, we have an Alex in the house. Is it an Alex that we know, or is it a different Alex?
Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
We hear you,
Yeah,
sir. What are you going to showcase? You want to go next?
Absolutely. Hold on. Let me turn my.
Amazing.
Give me a second.
Okay. All right. So Alex is going to showcase something that he's been working on, which
that's cool.
I'm excited to see that. This is like probably a
Right.
preview of our team meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be nothing like our team meeting tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, wait, not camera. Screen share. Hold on. Let me screen one. I'm figuring it out. I think I turned my camera off now. Okay. Can you all see my screen?
We can, sir.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Um, so the biggest thing that I've been working on is trying to get other Noster apps to compile in Shakespeare. So the big breakthrough that I finally made was getting Jumble to work. And this is just a prompt to make Jumble be like super colorful, just to prove that we can take an existing Noster client and then make changes to it. And I did some contributions to Jumble too to get it kind of in working order. And I've started working on Nosotros, and I've gotten decently far with it now. But there's still some build errors, and I'm kind of just going through and fixing the stuff that I can. And then there's some things about it that I'm just not sure I'm gonna fix. But I feel the ultimate would be Primal. I think if we could get Primal in here, because that would just be like such a power move to be like, yo, you can edit Primal with Shakespeare. and people would like make their own versions of Primal and stuff, but Primal is like really far away actually in terms of our ability to edit it. Nosotros is much closer. But I might need to make some pull requests to them in order to make it be more viable. But Jumble is great, and I've been just thinking about what am I going to do with this power that I have now, and I kind of want to like just start modifying Jumble and to turn Jumble into like a template that people will be able to just be like, oh, you want to build a Nostr app, but it's already like completely fully featured. Why don't you just start with one that is already complete? Let me just roll this back to before I added colors to it. And like, yeah, I imagine I'm just going to take this, like this functional software and then build new things with it. So that's basically my update. Shakespeare and Shakespeare. And I'm excited about the possibility of just being able to edit existing software. And I also see the future of this being like that we create this collaborative environment on Nostr through Shakespeare where people can actually like you can pull and push your code with Git right now, and that's super important. But what if you could submit a pull request through this menu? And what if you could have a menu in here that could show like a notification bell of other people trying to contribute to your project?
That's super cool.
And
collaborative
exactly.
contributions. Yeah, I like it.
I feel like one of the biggest communities that I care about the most is actually the developer community. And I feel like that is like what Nostr is we are a developer community. And if we can like help to make more people be developers and expand the meaning of what a developer is, then that would be amazing. And if we can also just make it a better experience for like developers, then I feel like that'll be one of the most important things to do. Also, that took a really long time to roll back. I'm gonna have to look into that, but there's the rolled back version. Yeah, Jumble is a great client, and I wouldn't put the layout this way at all. I think I would make it look pretty much exactly like Twitter, but it works really well. So I feel like that's kind of all I need as a starting.
But the cool thing is that's something that you can do now. You can say, you know what, I really love all the features of this app, but I hate the layout. Let me create my own custom version of it, and you can. You can say, hey, let's change the layout to look more like Twitter.
Yeah, I think I'm going to cannibalize this layout, and I'm just going to make it look exactly like Twitter while working like super well. Oh, right. This is the thing I sent him the pull request to fix. So actually, if I pull this down, then that issue should be fixed too. So that's cool. And yeah, I've been trying to think about what are other high impact things that I could make be editable in here. I need to hard reset this, but like, what are other things that people wish that they could have a starting point from? Because then those are the things that are potentially, the things that we try to make work in here.
Yeah, I think being able to, your original vision for Ditto, people being able to, build their own community social app, build their own Twitter, I think is really still a very powerful use case for people. So being able to come in here and remix Jumble to someone's own vision, I think that, fulfills that.
I think Jumble is the superpower that we've just unlocked, and I think I want to use it to come full circle on Ditto and make a Ditto 2.0.
I would be all for it because Jumble was an absolutely great client. I really like it. It's fast and it works well.
Jeff can finally stop telling me you need to implement Outbox support.
Be like, I cloned it and it already has Outbox. Done.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll let someone else just solve this hard problem for me, and I'll do the easy thing of just making it look like Twitter and then like marketing it to people.
I like it. So what Alex is saying here is he didn't want to rebuild another app, so he took someone else's app, used another app that he built to update that app, and boom, it's done. I like it. Use the tools that you have available to get your job done.
Easy rather than hard.
Yeah.
We don't you don't have to fight for hard just because of your ego. Like easy is best.
Yeah. So, anybody that Code Orange, you have your own community. Like you could essentially take this, I'll say, jumble template. You could take it and remix it, reconfigure it to your liking, and have it be the Code Orange, social network, basically. Really cool. Like any community could do that, and anybody that has any type of following could do that.
I already put it on my to-do list. I'll try it out.
Perfect. Love to see it. Okay. Who wants to go next? Heather, MK? Maybe Alan? Or N0? N0, you told me last week what to call you besides that, and I don't... Dave! No one or Dave. Okay. Well, said, whoever wants to go next, feel free to just go.
I'm here to learn and watch. I haven't figured out yet what I want to use this stuff for, but I'm very fascinated, so I just am learning for now.
Okay. Well, that's great. Well, thank you for participating. I see you asking questions in the chat, so I greatly appreciate that. That's helpful for you and others as well. So it looks like Heather's going. It's all you, Heather.
There we go. I should probably unmute myself if I'm going to show off some stuff. So this was something I did on a lark today because I remembered I had this picture of my cat, and we are having a Halloween vibe coding contest, the Halloween hackathon. So I thought, well, I don't think he's very spooky, so let's make a little storybook about him being, trying to be spooky. So I gave it this prompt, and it gave me like a 12-page story, and it was kind of cute what it did. So I said, and this is how simple you can prompt. Like, I'm not putting it through ChatGPT first or anything like that. I'm just saying, make a children's storybook about this photo of a cute Bengal cat dressed up as a flower. The scent of this flower should smell like spice and mischief. His name is Spots. He loves Halloween trick-or-treating, but no one gives him chicken treats, no matter how scary his costumes are. So if we all took high school English, this is our hero's journey for the cat, right? So this year he's dressed as a cute, pretty flower. He can improve his chances of getting chicken treats while trick-or-treating. In the end, he will get some, and some lessons about Bitcoin. So it gave me exactly that. And at some point in here, it gives you kind of like the payoff about Bitcoin. We get a little character in here that starts talking to the cat about Bitcoin. So this was, something I thought, well, this would be cute. Not very scary for our Halloween vibe coding contest, but, very cute. So we did that one. There was one, I did some things to make fun of Derek a little bit, but then I also made this one super complicated thing. And it should be in one of these. Well, here's
I was
Spot.
gonna say, wait a second. What did you do to make funny? But I remember now. The Vibe Coders Anonymous.
Yeah, Vibe Coders Anonymous. I'll show you that in a minute because that one's like super simple. But this one took a little work, and this one got a little addictive. So I started with what kind of looked like the average vibe coding site. So it kind of had this look to it where it's very boxy. I don't know how to describe the look, but it seems like no matter what vibe coding platform you use, you seem to get something that looks kind of like this. So I thought, well, let me spice it up and put in this photo of my own that's kind of ended up kind of blurry on this one end. But this is a photo I took of Sedona. So then it kind of made this cool background using a very, very faded out silhouette of what's in the picture. So I just thought, this started innocently, and it just kept snowballing because I kept getting more ideas. So originally I wanted like a thinking, decision-making kind of app. And so I came up with like problem solver, decision matrix, and it made these for me so fast that I was like, well, what else can you make me? So I'm like, make me the rapid framework, make me positive affirmations. And I just kind of kept going to see what it would come up with. Like, it was using Claude Sonnet. So, it knows obviously the zodiac signs. You don't have to sit here and tell it how to make each one. If you're Gemini, it's got this. And this is kind of fun. This is kind of simple. And I thought, well, this would be cool. Personal development tools, like the things up here I may have made for my addiction clients back in the day, like creative thinking. There's different methods here for creative thinking, random word techniques. And it just kind of like, to my surprise, worked. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to stump it. There's no way it's going to be able to do, for example, breathing. Because I've tried to do this before with like a little breathing thing, like a little breathing timer. I made a couple acts like this and I didn't really like the result, but this one gives you a few different choices. I mean, more than a few different choices. It's pretty accurate too, and it works. So I'm like, okay, I can't stump it. So I just started making more things, and I'm like, well, what am I going to do with this? Because I actually like it. Once I got through just like a couple different iterations, I was like, what can I do with it? It made this copy for me, and I'm like, okay, I could use it as like a freebie landing page, and then people could sign up for my newsletter. So I tried that, and then I was like, well, what else can I make it do? I'm like, because Shakespeare knows your NPub, right? Excuse me. So I'm like, oh, just have a little follow me on Nostra thing. So it took it a little step further for me, and it was like adding like follow me on Primal, follow me on Iris. So like it comes up with some things on its own. And so that's kind of cool. So you end up with this cool page. It's like you could refer people to this whole site that just has like 16 tools or so on it. And they all work. So that was, like if you want to learn the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism, it's got, it just populates them down here for you. So it's just like a fun little learning site, maybe targeted towards a young person, maybe targeted towards, somebody who's new in addiction recovery. And it's just kind of fun. Like if you want to learn the 8 limbs of yoga. So this has something, a little bit of something for everybody here. I love how it came up with all of the colors and things. And then at one point when I put the Sedona picture in here and I prompted it to ask to do like a Sedona theme, it took it way too far down the hippie woo woo trail, and it went total like Sedona vortex. Like it changed the copy, it changed the look. It was actually, I didn't want to save it because it was weird, but it like I had to undo it. I had to do a little rollback there. And so I arrived on this happy medium where I was like, okay, if I'm going to refer people to my actual website, then I'll make the colors match the actual website. So like I put in the hex codes, it went for purple and orange. And it just kind of, over time created kind of a more uniform look. So this was, I think, one of the more complicated things that I've vibe coded, and I could still keep going. Like I could log back in and come up with a new idea, and just be like, because if you go, I don't know if I can go quickly. This is how it started. Build me an app that makes me a better problem solver, thinker, and decision maker. And it went there. And as soon as I realized that it could handle this, and it made some tools like to kind of answer each thing, I was like, okay, well, let's talk about like Neville Goddard or whatever. And like, because that's a big personal development kind of thing that people like for manifestation. So it's got like little, it'll talk and give you like computer voice readouts of these, and like it's just got all these cool little affirmation things. He's like an old school, like he's public domain, so you'll find a lot of videos and audio recordings of him on like Apple Music or YouTube. It's just kind of funny. So he's really popular in the manifestation nerd world. Stoics, you like the Stoics, it knows the Stoic wisdom. So like, again, some of the stuff is, obviously public domain, whatever Seneca said. So like this, it's going to know this stuff anyway, but this is just kind of common knowledge. And so there was a point in time when I wanted things like this on my website ages ago, and it was so hard to come up with this kind of a thing for, yoga students or addiction clients or whatever. Like I used to actually like make up, where is the one that I made? Life balance wheel. I used to make this kind of thing in Canva. And I would like say you want to change your health and fitness to needs urgent attention. It's going to change your health and fitness to look like it's out of balance here. I used to make something you could color in and download a PDF like for your iPad. So it was like, and then I'd offer it as like a free download to people. And so like this stuff was so much easier for me, so much easier to stand up quickly. And just like if I had, if I currently had yoga clients or whatever who I wanted to give this to, I'd be like, here's a link to, life balance, work on your life balance pie and get back to me. And, like we'll work on your spirituality, or we'll work on why does your friends and family situation need urgent attention. So like you get to see like, answer honestly all the questions. And this is cool because then somebody doesn't have to get a PDF from me and download it and print it out and get out the crayons and color it. Like it just kind of works. So you get your strengths and your growth opportunities. And like this is something I would have dreamed of doing ages ago, and now Shakespeare just does it. Another thing I made was, this was me just annoying the Derrickster. Um, this was this was a simple prompt that I said, build me a website that makes AI a higher power, like Jesus, and gives the 12 steps of AA and replace every instance of alcohol with vibe coding. Because we all know that Derek is a vibe coding addict. And I said, make the site full of angels and Jesus. By the way, you can misspell things, and Shakespeare's like, I got you. I get it. You're stupid. You don't know how to spell. Cool. So like don't even worry about spelling. I totally understand the grammar mistakes and all kinds of things. Give me mock photos of each. Is probably what I should have said, but I said mock photos are okay, so it totally bypassed that. And make the site look very ethereal, dreamy, therapeutic, and inspirational. Because I wanted to be cheesy. So it came up with like plays on quotes and in the 12 steps of divine recovery, Derek must first admit that he's powerless over the vibe coding, that his life has become unmanageable, and he has to come to believe that AI, a power greater than ourselves, could restore us to sanity. So it's a fun joke. If you're sober like me, you've ever been to a million AA meetings, you know how funny these are and what it came up with. I shared it with a sober Bitcoiners group so that we could all get a laugh out of it. So like instead of like turning your will over to God, you're turning it over to AI. So the AI can help you stop vibe coding with the AI. So Derek's on step one, right, Derek?
I guess. I admit step one is isn't step one like you admit you have a problem or something?
Yeah, you admit you're powerless over the vibe coding.
I am.
That your life is unmanageable.
I blame Alex because he keeps making these cool things.
It is. We decided at one point in the podcast that we could just blame Alex Gleason for everything, didn't we? We can hashtag blame Alex Gleason.
Sounds about right.
Many such cases.
he's like, pick a number. Like,
right. I'm like, oh, and then I made a countdown because I was inspired. MK made a countdown for our. So here's our countdown to Noster Valley. And this could be fun. I could just like screenshot this and post it on Noster, and like, here's our countdown, 11 days to go. So I like to make little things like this, and then every once in a while, like I get the urge to do like the very creative, let me make something cool. Mm-hmm. Like this, the yoga teacher calendar was something, one of these is right. I think Alex fixed this one for me. Yeah. So this was, Yogaster is about a year old now. Some of you probably went to yoga class right before this vibe coding class or session. And so I thought, well, if I could post to a central place when the yoga classes are that I'm offering, there's a free version of this that I get through my yoga teacher liability insurance. And it's super simple. We could obviously vibe code something better. So I should probably return to this and make it better. But for now, it's like, you could pay me in Zaprite if you wanted to. Like if you're a normal person who doesn't understand Bitcoin and Nostr, that would be for you. And then like it's got my Nostr bio. And then it should have excuse me, it should have my full calendar here. So like if I had classes on the schedule, they would show up here. So then people could just like bookmark this, or I'd put it in my Nostr bio and you can see it on my profile. And I think ideally, like I would make this so like Anna could log in, post her classes and I could post my classes, and then more Nostra yoga teachers would come along, maybe teaching on Hive Talk and or wherever. Since we're getting kind of this explosion of apps lately, people could all log in and post their schedule. It doesn't have to be yoga; it could be other things too. We have people who teach languages. We have people who do all kinds of stuff. Meditation once in a while. Somebody does a meditation course or class or event. And like ultimately we could have like kind of a cool little, I don't know, wellness calendar would be neat. So it doesn't have to be a Heather calendar. It could be more of a community calendar in the bigger picture of things. But this, I got it to work, so it works. If I were teaching yoga on Hot Talk right now, you would have that.
Very cool.
So,
Your approach is similar to mine when it comes to vibe coding. You build tools, things that you specifically want to use, and that's similarly to what I do. I build things that I nerd snipe myself, or other people nerd snipe me, and I end up building a tool that, oh wow, I want to use that, or oh wow, that sounds cool, and then I'll go and do it.
Yeah, and I should add that like I'm the only person at Soapbox who has zero developing skills. Like I am such a beginner at knowing anything about code to begin with. Like I think I know like a couple HTML things, and like I'm learning Linux and Git, right? So I am super basic. I have never, built a website with anything other than a CMS like Squarespace or Ghost. I use Ghost now. So this is just me being like a normal, regular person who's just going to talk to the AI like anybody, and I don't always know what to ask it. So it turns into a conversation where I'm like, "Hey, build me a silly site, I can pick on Derek with," and then it comes up with things. And like, if I really wanted to go into that, like AI as a higher power, kind of like 12 steps to quitting vibe coding site. Like if I really wanted to go hard on that and put in stock photos of Jesus and make it absolutely like comedy worthy, like I probably would. I could, and that's the thing too. I can go back to it later. Like it might sit there for a couple days or weeks, and then I'll go back and go, oh, I've got a new idea now.
Cool, very cool. Well, thank you, Heather, for sharing as always.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Alan or Kai, do either of you have any questions or something that you would like to share with the group? Or are you just hanging out and listening, which is fine too? Calling on Alan and Kai. It's okay if you don't want to share. That's all right. We're all here to learn. Maybe next time you'll come back and you'll be like, all right, I listened to all these big brains talking for an hour, and look at the cool stuff I built, and you'll show next week. So I appreciate you coming by and listening. So, on that note, if we don't have any other show and tell partakers, does anyone else have any other questions or something that they want to discuss, talk about? If not, it might be an early session tonight. This will be the shortest one. These things normally go for like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I'm okay to end if there's no other questions.
I say we go hard, and I posted a last week's session on our YouTube channel.
Last week's session was pretty good. It was a really good. We had a lot of.
It was pretty lit.
Yeah, so that's okay. That's okay. That means we get a short one this week. Cool. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording then. So thank you all. Kai says, here for the vibes and following this project. Shakespeare is really cool. Thank you for the feedback. Greatly appreciate it.